contact your nearest wellness center to get to know about our pap smear clinics.
Turnaround time for HPV testing is 1 week. Any abnormal or positive test, there will be a following week for cytology testing. We also going to test for HPV strains 16 and 18, which are the most aggressive, which cause cervical cancer. We can also test for other STIs such as herpes simplex type 1 and type 2, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and others.
Patients with an abnormal HPV and an abnormal cytology shall be referred to the colposcopy clinic. At that clinic, we shall assure that you get the proper treatment and guidance.
So come in and access this new service. Your health is our priority.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man, the voice.
Good afternoon to you, everyone. Welcome once again to yet another edition of The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. It's our final program for the week, and I'm tempted to say, isn't it going to be the final program Friday for the month of October? Because by the time we hit Friday, I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe I got it wrong, but to me, by the time we hit Friday next week, We should be in the month of November. Jaquan, I'm going old already and senile and all of that, so you got to keep me on track all the time. Okay, everyone, so our last Friday for the month of October, and it's also going into the weekend of Journée Creole. I hope you're all prepped for that. My advice to you, if you're going to destinations far away from where you live, leave early. So, you can have time, beat the heavy traffic and so on when everybody's trying to make it at the same time. Although with Journée Creole, based upon our experience, no matter what you do, it's always going to be crowded. And I'm sure with all what we're hearing about it, it's still going to be, a really heavily attended, heavily patronized Journée Creole celebration for 2024. Okay, where do I go now? I normally have myself very well organized, in terms of what I want to say. But I got some messages this morning while I was hosting Zafenu. I'm seeing a missed call from Cecil Actil. Cecil, hello. We're in the same building, so you can't be too busy. Pop up, send me a note, send me a text, or drop into the studio. Come on, if there was something that you wanted to tell me at about 11:45, when I was probably preparing myself to watch the midday news and so on, the lunchtime news on NBC and all of that. And maybe sometimes I also forget to put my phone audio back on. Hosting a live program on air, I silence my phone, and then I leave the studio and I just pick up my phone and I forget that it's on silent. So it's probably the ringer wasn't on at the time and I didn't hear you. So, give me a little hit up, a little look up for whatever it is that you wish to speak with me about. It can never be too late. We are in the business where we've got to beat deadlines and do all those sorts of things. All right, let me see if I can get a message which was a bit troubling, especially given the theme that I was speaking about when I got this message from a lady. I think it would have had to be. Let me see if I can get that. Let me see what it is. All right, okay. Do I have it? It was kind of troubling, but sometimes, or did I forward it to my other WhatsApp platform? I don't like doing that on air. When I'm on air, then I'm trying to scroll through and try to get something, but it looks like, wow. It looks like I won't be able to get this one. It was someone who was talking about going to a clinic, and like what was being advertised and what was being promised on the universal health coverage and the how you call that, the postnatal or prenatal treatment for women and so on, that it was really not working out that way, that they were being told something else. By the way, I got a note from someone who says NBC needs to fix the problem of the volume being so high when they go to commercials. Now, I didn't realize it was an NBC problem. Apparently, this message writer seems to think so. But I can tell you it has bothered me for some time that when you're listening to the local TV stations, I was included, that there's such a disparity in the sound output, in the volume between when someone is reading news, say like Jaquan is doing the NBC Prime on the evenings, and then when you come to an ad break. It bothers me to the extent that on more than one occasion, a neighbor has had to tell me, lower the volume of your TV. And I'm sure while I was watching the TV, it wasn't that high, but I leave at the end of a section or a segment to go to the bathroom. And then when I reach the bathroom, I can't believe that the volume of the TV is so high, and at the bathroom, I'm much further away from it. Only to realize that it is because of the great disparity. And I've spoken about it on this program. We need to have, let me see that. Oh, someone is messaging me to say I should have started the program in Creole. Agree with you, but I guess the force of habit kind of prevents from doing that. By the way, I want to acknowledge the fact that Miku North had a bamboo bursting night. That was not last night, which would have been Thursday, but Wednesday night. They had a bamboo bursting night, and I think that was in Miku Village. Yeah, Bamboo Bursting Day, it was called, on October 23rd at the Miku Primary School. So, when we talk about not hearing a lot of bamboo bursting, which I think I was discussing with Terry Fendelor at the time, there was in fact a bamboo bursting day that was organized. And I want to encourage Miku North, Monrepo, those areas in particular, to not let the culture drop or slide or in any way be neglected, because that is one of the real centers. I have to say, one of the founding places, of the Journée Creole movement in St. Lucia. I'm not saying that it started there. I'm just saying it's one of the founding places. It's one of the places where the folk traditions and the culture are very strong, have been kept alive. There are other places, of course, like Babono, and we could name many others. But, Monrepo, Magritut, going to the Fond Estate area, Pralin, La Pointe, those kinds of places when it comes to culture, not just Journée Creole, but things like the La Rose and so on, they're very big on that. You go to a place where there's a death and they have a lave in the night, and it's not just the fact that they have lave, so many places have it, but the manner in which they celebrate it, the games that they play, the compere bouic, the felangi marché, and so on in the night. I mean, it is really good for helping people cope with their grief at the time, with their hurt, with their sadness. It really is a consolation that goes beyond just putting your arms, around somebody and so on. When you see people, even in the midst of grief, that they can really. Then Miguel messages me to say, if everyone leaves early for Journée Creole, what happens now? Of course, Miguel, I know we're going to have the same problem. The fact is, not everybody will. It's the same way telling people leave grossly early to come down to Castries for work and don't wait until the rush hour. Not everybody will listen to you, but some will. And what I'm saying is that there's some that will are going to cause a little breakup, in the sheer density of the traffic and the snarl up that we are having and so on. And it will make things a little more bearable. But not everybody is going to listen to you. Or to tell some people after work, if you can spare a little bit of time and you can hold back a little, stay in your office, do a bit of work or whatever, if you're allowed to, then most likely, my friend, the after work being, rushed to the north and so on, it's probably going to become a little more modified and so on. Yes, I did mention about it. Now, let me see. I'm trying to get that note where someone said they went to a clinic. My goodness, did the person erase it? Because now you have the whole disappearing messages thing and so on, and I'm trying to see if I can find it. Oh, don't tell me you cleaned it up afterward. I find nowadays so many people, they send you messages and then they come back and they clean it up, and then, a minister who knew me in Antigua messaged me some time ago and said he wanted me to, have a little discussion with him. He's concerned about the judiciary. The same thing people are talking about special prosecutor. What's happening with special prosecutor? Did not hear anything from special prosecutor, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. And that minister was concerned, and he sent me some, a little outline of what he wanted to talk about. And I said, okay, and next thing I knew, he had cleaned it up, People do that a lot. You wonder, is it something that they feel guilty about or something that bothers them? They come back and they take it out. They take it out very quickly. All right. Let's see, where is that? I'm looking for it. Was it this lady who sent it? I'm not seeing it here. All right, I guess I'm just going to have to leave it alone. Okay, I think I have it now. Good morning, Shelton. I am very disappointed in the health sector. When I go to get a pap smear done, only to be told that they are not doing it on Thursdays again. And that was sent to me today, this morning at 7:45. So I'm guessing that maybe the individual, who is a lady, had that experience yesterday, which was Thursday. They are doing it on Tuesdays instead. I was told by a nurse friend in that same wellness center that they are not doing the new procedure they are advertising on TV. So they are doing the same long time ago procedure. Personally, for me, it is very painful. Anytime I do the long time ago procedure, I does have severe pains after I does have to stay in bed for the balance of the day. I was told that the new procedure is done only in private doctors' offices. They are telling us to go and get different cancer tests done, but how many of us can afford to pay $200? And after seeing one doctor, you have to get a form from the first doctor and you have to pay the other doctor and pay to get the pap smear done. Now, this is a complaint. It concerns something specific. I don't really know much about the difference in pap smear, but I have heard women, my late mother included, said it was one reason why she at some point figured she's old enough. She died in her mid-80s. that she's old enough, she's lived a life, she can be satisfied. If she has to go, let her go. If she has to die of cancer, cervical cancer, whatever, let her die. But this thing that they're doing, that cervical cancer test, pap smear, she can't take it on. I'm told it involves something that is inserted into the woman, or was called a speculum. Is that what it is? Something cold made of steel and, whatever it is. And like when they finish doing that and she leaves and she's going, she's feeling like the thing is still inside of her. And she's an old woman, she doesn't get things inserted inside of her. What my mother said at the time. She doesn't get things inserted inside of her as the normal course of life would go on for her at her age to have things inserted in her. And the thing is, when she's walking, she's feeling funny, after they call me doll. So I don't know if that's what the person is talking about. And if there's a different kind of cervical cancer screening or pap smear, whatever that they're doing that the individual is referring to. But that's not what I want to go into the details. I think the ladies can have the knowledge and that should be sufficient for them and so on. It is what many people are saying seems to be the disparity between the many things that the government is saying that it is putting in place, that are being spoken of in the parliaments, during budget debates and at other times, of the various things that they have put there to help St. Lucians to make life better. Ads and PSAs are made of those things. But for some reason, a lot of people who I have spoken to personally say when they go there, it tends not to be exactly so. It tends to be different. They are being told, no, that's not this and that's not that. And I think there needs to be a review of those things, to look at them, to find out whether there is a disparity in the information that is being put out and what is really available, so people don't go with expectations, don't believe that they're being given a 6 for a 9, that people are playing them, and the next thing you know, the nurses have to deal with a lot of rudeness and so on. Maybe some things at the time that, the PSA is put together, that is what is planned, that is what is intended, that is what was available, but situations change, you have to review them all the time and so on, to keep people properly informed if that is the case. It could be to begin with they had some kind of misunderstanding, but just make sure, because it appears to me that a lot of the things which are the intent of the policymakers, which are the intent of the administrators, whether it's Dr. Alicia, Eugene Ford and others and so on, that maybe it is not reaching down to the medical personnel, meet the people level and so on. Perhaps a piece of equipment is out of service, it is at the time available, I don't really know, but they need to make sure that those things flow a lot more smoothly and that the public expectations about them are met. If for any reason, including budgetary reasons, you have to pull back on something, that there will be notification of people right from the point they arrive at the medical facility, the wellness center, the hospital or whatever. Because this is not the first time I've, if not received an actual message like that someone has spoken, that the actual rolling out and the operational execution of things tends to fall short of what they were led to believe. And it's not only in healthcare, it's in other areas as well. So I don't believe there is any intention to dupe people, to snooker people, to make people, make fools of people or anything of that sort. But that is not what you want to come out. So make sure that it comes out a bit smoothly. And as a result, I think there's a lot of talk going around, whether it's true or not, that there might be agents who are out to deliberately frustrate things and who to undermine the government and to make the government look bad and so on. I don't really know, but I'm hearing more of it. Now, it may not be so. But the reality is that no matter what Minister Moses Jean-Baptiste comes out and speaks of in the parliament, at press briefings, at press conferences and so on, whether it is nurses or whoever is on the ground who are negligent, who are lazy, who couldn't care less, who don't really have a strong service ethic about them to understand and to empathize with people when they have come from so far for a service that they're told is available and so on. A lot of nurses, I don't know if it's tiredness or stress or whatever, but they seem to have, kind of attitude about them, like the old people would say, neo to say, we don't have it, it's not available, and they wouldn't spare 2 extra words to say, we had it yesterday, but the supplies have run out, we won't have until next week. As far as they're concerned, it's not available, they tell you that, and that's that, you understand? And I think maybe a lot of those people need to be schooled a little more in the benefits, in the need, in the necessity of having a stronger service kind of reach out to people in a manner that suggests empathy. Not that you have to give everybody a whole lesson and a whole lecture in how things work and so on, but just to demonstrate a little bit of playing with softer hands than they tend to do. I just find that is sometimes lacking, and especially in the area of healthcare, where you are dealing with vulnerable people, elderly people, people who have all their limitations and their impairments because of age, because of mobility. Demonstrate a little bit of a more empathetic response and communicating with them and so on. And I don't find this is often forthcoming. All right. Now, did I have anything else? As I said, I've been trying to reach a gentleman who has a problem with land that he purchased. Yes. One lady says, okay. But I'm still doing pap smear, and I still feel the discomfort afterwards. I don't really know. She didn't say it was pap smear, but they said they're not doing the new cervical cancer test. It's the old one that they're doing. So I don't know. I just remember many years ago being told about the pap smear test and the speculum and etc. I mean, there are men who will prefer to go through other methods, take the blood test and so on, to check their prostate, than to have a doctor push his finger inside their anus. And it's not really right up inside the anus, it's just near the opening of the anus and so on, that the doctor will, with a glove on, push his finger to feel if there is swelling of the prostate, and they would feel that it would be protruding, encroaching upon the anal passage and so on. It would be closing it, because the prostate is a gland and so on, and if it swells, the swelling is going to cause it to pinch the anus and bowel a bit. So the doctor is feeling to see if there is that kind of pinching of the anus and bowel. I mean, a lot of men will not get that test done, a test that can potentially save their life, because anybody pushing their finger in their backside is reminiscent and reminds them and puts in them the fear of bullying and being bullied and this kind, and they wouldn't go and do it. But there are alternatives. There are blood tests and so on that can show certain things. They'll be more expensive. You want to go and do a, what do you call it, PSA test, prostatic specific antigen, I think it stands for test. It's going to cost you. Not so much as if in a general visit a doctor inserts, a finger into your rectum or anus and so on to feel. That's not going to cost you anything, if at all. It's not going to cost you much more, if anything more. But if you prefer to go and do the test or whatever other test that they have, you have to pay more and so on. And so likewise with pap smear and so on, it's possible that there are women who just, if there's another way of doing a test and so on, instead of having what they told me is a very cold, like steel, really steel, because it's supposed to be something that you can disinfect and that cannot bear contamination when you have cleaned it up and whatever they do with it and so on. Said that, you feel the coldness and the firmness and the hardness of that, steel, which is very foreboding, no compassion with it and so on inside of you, and they feel funny. So I don't know. Another person who has some medical background tells me all the tests are required for prostate. So I don't know. I'm not speaking to specifics and so on. I'm just making a general point. Now, what was I saying? Those messages came in and I thought I needed to attend to them straight away. What was I saying? Okay. Let me see this. Alright, I'm trying to get to where I normally store my little forwarded stuff. But anyway, folks, we're almost going for the commercial break. On the other side of it, I will be opening the phone lines, because recognizing it is the last program for the week, it's also the last program before Journée Creole. Alright, maybe I do have, let's see this here. Yeah, this morning on Zafed No, I was speaking about the need for the government to ensure that state agencies do not frustrate people to the extent that people become upset with the government. And by government, I'm talking about ministers, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre, his ministers and so on, believing that they are the ones who are uncaring.